In August of this school year, families were asked to commit to either in-person or virtual learning for the duration of first semester. It is now time to make a similar commitment to your child's learning experience for second semester. In this overview, I will share with you key information that will help you make a decision that is right for your family. First, I will address those of you whose children currently attend school in person. If you are considering ARC for second semester, this information will help you understand what the ARC program is and what its intention is for the current 2020-21 school year. While ARC will be designed in the future to provide students with an opportunity for acceleration, it is currently focused on remote learning in a full-time virtual environment. Students in ARC are not impacted by disruptions that may affect in-person learning, such as quarantine and temporary movements to virtual learning for all students. The ARC schedule works like this. At the elementary level, ARC offers a daily schedule with a high level of consistency. At the middle school and high school levels, the ARC schedule may shift as the district moves from one phase of in-person learning to another. For example, high school students in ARC currently attend school from 7:25 a.m. until 2:25 p.m. However, if the district moves to Phase 3 virtual instruction, then the ARC school day will begin at 9:30 a.m. instead. All ARC students have a mixture of live instructional time, which we refer to as synchronous learning, and flexible offline or online work. We call that asynchronous. While secondary schedules are specific to student courses, the universal elementary ARC schedule can be seen here. Students start the day with their teacher at 9 a.m. and continue until lunch at 11:30 a.m. They resume learning from 12:30 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. Again, ARC middle and high school schedules mirror the in-person schedules. I'm very realistic that being asked to make an education decision for your child in November that will impact the type of learning they will do as late as May is challenging. However, there are 4 important reasons why we are asking you to make this decision now. The number of students we have enrolled in both in-person and ARC programs influences class schedules, staffing, and space. To provide context, currently, we have about 1,000 students in elementary ARC. If 300 of those students move from ARC to in-person, that will require us to shift teachers from ARC to in-person to accommodate the increased number of students in the building. It also requires us to reallocate space for classrooms and activities such as lunch. Additionally, we need to plan for any transportation changes, which may include new bus routes and times as we work to accommodate family needs. While we'd love to have a crystal ball, I think the one thing we can all agree on is that the year 2020 has thrown us some curveballs. Going into learning in 2021, there are still a lot of unknowns, including the trajectory of the virus through the winter and into the spring months. Due to the significant amount of planning that goes into each semester, we require our families to make a semester-long commitment. As we look forward to second semester, many decisions will be dependent on how many students move between ARC and in-person. For example, it is possible that students' teacher assignments may change, regardless of whether you change learning options or not. For students in middle and high school, it is possible that your child's schedule may change, based on the number of students in various classes. We will make every effort to minimize movement of students, but we also must make sure that class sizes are balanced. This is also important in order to allow us to continue social distancing to the best of our ability. Finally, as you make these decisions, it is important for you to be aware of how quarantine impacts students who choose in-person learning. Quarantines help us to mitigate spread of the COVID-19 virus in our schools. Students and staff may be quarantined as a result of direct contacts with people who test positive or are presumed positive, and these contacts may occur inside or outside of schools. When a quarantine happens as a result of a direct contact at school, students are required to stay home for 14 days from the time of exposure. These quarantine dates are subject to change if your student develops COVID-19 symptoms or tests positive. At the elementary school level, we have seen entire classes quarantine, and teachers continuing to teach virtually in a format similar to Phase 3 virtual instruction. When individual students are quarantined, we do our best to support them through at-home work, and when possible, live virtual instruction as well. Weekly quarantine numbers for students and staff can be found on the district's COVID-19 dashboard. As you may have seen in the news, many districts in our area are temporarily closing schools due to the large number of staff in quarantine. This is a future possibility for us as well, if we find ourselves in a position where we are unable to staff schools for in-person learning. As a reminder, you only need to fill out an e-form in SIS if you plan to change your student's learning option for second semester. The form to change between in-person and ARC is due by Monday, November 23rd. It is essential that you make a decision you can carry through the entire second semester. In recent weeks, we've seen an uptick in the number of families that have wanted to change their child's placement, and we have not been able to accommodate those changes due to limits in staff, schedules, and space. We will, however, offer families the same trial period that was offered at the beginning of first semester. If you are new to either ARC or in person at the start of second semester, you will have until January 29th to request a change back to your original learning option if you choose to do so. Those families who choose to retain their original learning option for second semester will not be able to make any changes after November 23rd. Thank you, and please reach out to either myself or your building principals if you have any further questions.